bike ride through acres of open space was a great opportunity for me to jump on the dirt bike riding trend, something I've been curious about for a while. Ruta del Jefe was an enticing opportunity to have a short adventure while learning about and connecting to the land of the area. This ride took place on land historically inhabited by Tohono O'odham peoples. Traditional Tohono O'odham lands stretched across the southwest from central Arizona down to Sonora, Mexico, and from the Gulf of California to the San Pedro River, which is just east of where this event was hosted. Our first speaker at Ruta del Jefe was April of Indivisible Fauna. One of the first things April wanted us to learn was proper pronunciation. Tohono O'odham. Tohono O'odham. Tohono O'odham. You can follow Gabriela Cáceres Kelly on TikTok for the pronunciation or watch her video on Facebook. Link will be in the description. Indivisible Fauna organizes with the acknowledgement that voting is the least to be done when it comes to becoming involved. Their grassroots efforts include a lobby day at Washington, D.C., organizing around the movement for missing and murdered Indigenous women, support of their LGBTQ members, and more. Connect with them on Facebook and Instagram at Indivisible Fauna. The Appleton-Whittle Research Ranch works to rehab and safeguard this bioregion through a variety of initiatives and practices. The management of this open space is a complex partnership between landowners and federal land administrative agencies. According to the Research Ranch website, the property comprises 8,000 acres of grassland that have remained ungrazed for 35 years. Surrounding this ecological reserve are 5 million acres of semi-desert grassland with forested mountains laid throughout the terrain. These mountains are what gives this area the moniker of Sky Islands, and it's one of the reasons why this area contains some of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the world. Big game hunters arrived in the southwest North America region at around 1000 BCE. So I guess that would be about 3,000 years ago. Around the same time, either shortly before or after, large herbivores such as camels, horses, and woolly mammoths disappeared from the area. Since then, there are records of numerous peoples living in this area, including the Cochise, pre-ceramic O'odham, formative O'odham or Pima, the Hohokam, and the Sobaipuri. The Apache arrived in the area where the research ranch is now located in the later half of the 17th century. 200 years later, Europeans start to move in. This change in demographics was facilitated by the U.S. government, which put resources into supporting westward migration and the large livestock industry in these grasslands. This short-sighted and uneducated practice resulted in a series of overgrazing events, leading to the loss of topsoil and changes in hydrology. The native grasses of this area had no defenses against overgrazing, with the last grass grazers disappearing those 3,000 years ago. Also, there is no evidence that buffalo roamed west of the Pecos River in New Mexico and Texas. In 1968, the ranch owners Frank and Ariel Appleton sold their cattle, and turned their property into a research ranch that we know today. On the other side of the border, Cuenca Los Ojos is working to protect, restore, and rewild the biodiversity of the U.S.-Mexico borderlands. The area they steward includes 120,000 acres, and they focus their efforts on water by slowing the rate at which rain runs off the land, soil via erosion control and native plantings, and life by working to restore the land so that nature can thrive. No More Deaths is a group working to live up to its name by providing direct aid and humanitarian relief to people crossing the remote corridors in the desert borderlands. No More Deaths is not just an effort to help those in need, but to raise awareness as to how U.S. immigration policy and actions by Border Patrol create a culture of intentional death for migrants heading north. Volunteers for No More Deaths hike into the desert to drop off food, socks, blankets, and other supplies, including water. They have also documented Border Patrol agents destroying these supplies, shooting at or stabbing through water containers to empty them. Border Patrol's regular practice of chase and scatter also contributes to many deaths, with travelers losing their companions, supplies, and their route. No More Deaths also publishes resources documenting the abuse at the border at the hands of the state. The Santa Rita Mountains are a north-south mountain range that extend for 26 miles, about 40 miles southeast of Tucson. Save the Scenic Santa Ritas began in 1996 as a collective effort to prevent open-pit copper mining in the mountains. The group now includes advocacy to also protect the Patagonia Mountains, Canelo Hills, and the San Rafael Valley. Open-pit mines produce a lot of waste. The largest open-pit operations can move almost 1 million tons of material, including waste, per day, with the smaller ones having a capacity of a couple of thousand tons per day. The short-term and long-term goal of the Scenic Santa Ritas is to prevent any mining on these lands.